Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hooded Casual. Today we're diving straight into Chrono Odyssey, a game that's turning heads with its incredible visuals and that bold promise of time manipulation gameplay. But let's keep it real. Is this actually the innovation the MMO scene needs, or are we looking at another beautiful concept that might struggle to deliver? We're breaking it all down, what's confirmed so far, how this time mechanic really works in practice, what the combat and classes bring to the table, and whether the content and monetization plan seem solid or just another grind waiting to happen. So stick with me, grab a coffee, and by the end of this deep dive, we'll have a clear idea if Chrono Odyssey is really worth keeping on our radar, or if it's just another case of hype over substance. Developer and engine analysis. Who's really behind Chrono Odyssey, and can they deliver? Alright, let's keep things honest here. Big promises are easy to make in the MMO world. Delivering on them, that's a whole different story. So, who's actually behind Chrono Odyssey? It's a South Korean studio called NPIXEL. Now, they're not exactly a household name in the West, but they're not completely new to the scene either. Their previous project, Grand Saga, made some noise in the Korean market thanks to its flashy visuals and fast-paced combat. But, and this is important, it was mostly a mobile-first gacha-driven game, which doesn't exactly scream MMO Revolution to a lot of us looking for something deeper. This time, though, they're clearly aiming higher. Chrono Odyssey is being developed specifically for PC and next-gen consoles, not mobile devices. That's a critical distinction, but whether that shift in focus translates to a more meaningful, long-lasting MMO experience, well, that remains to be seen. Now, the tech side of things. This is where it gets interesting. The game is running on Unreal Engine 5, and that's no small deal. Here's why that matters: nanite technology. This allows highly detailed environments without crushing your GPU. In theory, we're talking massive open zones and insane visual fidelity without sacrificing performance. Lumen Global Illumination, real-time lighting that responds dynamically to the environment. That's huge for a game built around timeline shifts. Walking into the same place in a different timeline should look and feel totally different. World partition system. No more stitched-together zones and janky loading screens. This system streams huge environments seamlessly, perfect for an MMO that wants to feel like a continuous living world. But here's the reality. Check, having great tech doesn't guarantee a smooth experience. MMOs have historically struggled with performance, especially during big player events and large-scale battles. It's easy to make a stunning trailer. What's hard is keeping that same level of fidelity and fluidity when you have hundreds of players casting flashy spells, using time manipulation mechanics, and triggering massive world events all at once. And let's not forget about netcode and server stability. Time manipulation mechanics aren't just visually complex, they add a whole new layer of difficulty for synchronization in online environments. Can NPIXEL actually pull that off? Honestly, it's a massive challenge, and we won't know the answer until the beta goes live. So yeah, this is ambitious, maybe even too ambitious. But to be fair, I'd rather see a studio try to push the genre forward and struggle a bit than just churn out the same tired systems we've all grown bored of. Whether Chrono Odyssey becomes a technical showcase or a technical nightmare, that's something we're all going to find out together pretty soon. World building, the realm of Setera. A living world or just another static backdrop? Let's talk about where you'll spend most of your time in Chrono Odyssey, the vast seamless realm of Setera. This isn't just a backdrop for quest markers, it's being designed as a dynamic, evolving world shaped by both player actions and the flow of time. Setera features a variety of distinct biomes, lush grasslands, frozen snowfields, dense swamps, all crafted with Unreal Engine 5 to ensure both visual beauty and seamless exploration. Thanks to the powerful world partition system, you can move freely across these regions without loading screens or artificial barriers, maintaining a strong sense of immersion. But what truly sets this world apart is how it ties directly into the game's core mechanic, time manipulation. Using the powerful artifact known as the Chronotector, players can directly influence the state of the world, pause time, mid-combat to reposition or avoid incoming damage. rewind recent events to undo mistakes or escape deadly encounters, explore alternate timelines, revealing hidden areas, environmental changes, and entirely different quest opportunities. This isn't just a narrative gimmick. The timeline shifts have a direct impact on gameplay. That peaceful sanctuary you just explored? In another timeline, it might become a corrupted, hostile zone filled with entirely new enemies and loot. To push immersion even further, the game also integrates fully dynamic weather systems and seasonal changes. Storms, shifting light conditions, and environmental hazards aren't just pretty effects. They can actively influence combat encounters and exploration routes, adding a strategic layer to when and how you engage with the world. Of course, all of this sounds incredibly ambitious. The real question is whether these features will have meaningful depth or simply become visual spectacle with little gameplay substance. Time manipulation and dynamic environments could completely reshape what we expect from open-world MMOs, or if poorly implemented, risk falling into the trap of style over substance. As we wait for hands-on experience, one thing's clear: Chrono Odyssey isn't playing it safe. It's aiming to make Setera feel alive, responsive, and unpredictable. Whether they can pull that off remains to be seen, but it's definitely one of the most exciting concepts this genre has seen in years. Combat is a critical aspect of any MMORPG, and Chrono Odyssey aims to deliver a fast-paced, highly engaging experience. The game features real-time, action-based combat, requiring players to actively control their characters' movements, attacks, and defenses. This system emphasizes player skill, timing, and strategy over traditional tab targeting mechanics. A standout feature in Chrono Odyssey is the ability for each class to equip and seamlessly switch between two distinct weapons during combat. This isn't just a convenience feature, it's core to the combat flow. This mechanic allows for versatile playstyles and tactical adaptability. For example, swordsman can alternate between a sword and shield for defense and a greatsword for powerful attacks. Assassin switches between dual daggers for close combat and a rifle for ranged engagements. Ranger utilizes a bow for long-range attacks and a rapier for swift melee strikes. This flexibility pushes players to think strategically, encouraging hybrid tactics and smooth transitions between offense and defense based on the situation. Enemy AI and combat challenges. The game's enemies aren't just punching bags, they're designed with advanced AI behaviors capable of reacting intelligently. They can dodge attacks, execute countermeasures, and coordinate group tactics, forcing players to stay sharp and avoid falling into repetitive patterns. Chrono Odyssey offers a combat system that balances accessibility with depth. Newcomers will be able to jump in and have fun, but mastering the intricacies, precise timing, clean weapon swaps, and intelligent time manipulation will clearly separate casual players from those who truly master the system. This design aims to provide a rewarding experience for both casual players and those who love pushing their skills to the limit. If pulled off well, this could become one of the most satisfying combat loops in the genre. Build variety, balancing meta and creativity. While meta builds will inevitably emerge, the layers of time mechanics, weapon switching, and skill evolution make it tough for a single meta to dominate. This should keep the endgame fresh and theory crafters busy for a long time. With regular balance updates and new content promised post-launch, the system has the potential to stay dynamic, rewarding both hardcore optimizers and casual players who love experimenting. Endgame content isn't just about stat checks, it's designed to test strategic thinking and mastery of time mechanics. PvE, dungeons, raids, and world events players can engage in challenging dungeons and massive open-world events, many of which integrate the timeline shift mechanic. Instead of running the same static dungeon week after week, timeline changes can alter enemy types, boss mechanics, and even environmental hazards. Some content is solo-friendly, but larger raids will require coordination, not just in positioning and DPS rotations, but in managing chronotector abilities as a team. Imagine planning not just who uses their cooldowns, but who triggers time manipulation phases for critical moments. Instance dungeons versus open-world challenges. The game features both instanced, structured content and open-world events. The instance content provides curated, highly polished experiences with difficulty tiers. Meanwhile, open-world encounters offer more dynamic experiences, with shifting environments based on in-game events and player-driven changes. Mind Games PvP introduces its own layer of strategic depth. While full details aren't confirmed, it's expected that time manipulation mechanics will play a critical role here as well. It's not just about who has the biggest crits, it's about who manages their time resources smarter. There are also hints at large-scale faction-based PvP events where controlling zones might directly impact the stability of timelines across the map. That could make for some of the most interesting territory control systems we've seen in years, if they can pull it off. Is the content loop actually sustainable? The big question remains, can this system stay fresh, or will it fall into repetitive patterns after a few months? The key will be how much player agency they actually allow in influencing timeline shifts and world events. If this just becomes a set of scripted changes, the novelty could wear off fast. But if players can trigger and control these changes meaningfully, we might be looking at one of the most engaging long-term content loops the genre has ever seen. Let's get one thing straight, Chrono Odyssey looks absolutely stunning. From the very first trailer, this game turned heads, and for good reason. But is this level of visual fidelity something we'll actually experience in-game, or is it just a carefully curated trailer moment? Beta timeline, when can we actually get in? The closed beta is officially scheduled for the second quarter of 2025, with the exact date expected to drop soon. Sign-ups are already live on Steam, and this beta is set to include full-time manipulation mechanics, combat systems, and multi-timeline exploration. NPIXEL already delayed this game once to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5, and honestly, that's a good sign. It means they're taking their time to get this right instead of pushing out an incomplete product. Monetization, is this going to be another cash grab? Chrono Odyssey will adopt a buy-to-play model with no subscription fees. That's great news on the surface, but let's be honest, we're all waiting to see if they sneak in aggressive cash shop elements later. There's talk of cosmetic-only monetization and optional battle passes. If they stick to that, no complaints. Community resources, official Wiki and Discord. Now live in an exciting development, Chrono Odyssey now has an official presence on both Discord and Fandom Wiki. The Fandom Wiki is a growing repository of information, featuring detailed pages on factions like the Chronos Order and the Deathless, lore entries about the world of Setera, and gameplay mechanics including the Chronotector and Boundstones. It's a collaborative platform where players can contribute and expand the knowledge base as the game evolves. The official Discord server serves as a hub for community interaction, providing channels for discussions, updates, and direct communication with the development team. It's an excellent place to stay informed about the latest news, participate in events, and connect with fellow adventurers. Final thoughts. Is Chrono Odyssey the MMO savior or just another dream? Chrono Odyssey is easily the most exciting MMO project on the horizon, but it also feels dangerously close to being too good to be true. My biggest fear? That it leans too heavily into instanced content and loses that massive interconnected world feel we all crave. And of course, the looming concern about real money affecting the in-game economy is hard to ignore. The involvement of Kakao Games as the publisher only adds to that uncertainty. While they've avoided some of the worst monetization pitfalls before, the community remains split on whether they'll stick to a player-friendly approach this time. Yet, despite those worries, I'm genuinely excited. This is the first MMORPG in years that feels like it's actually trying to push the genre forward, not just repackage the same tired formulas we've been stuck with for over a decade. The combination of innovative mechanics, a rich time-manipulating narrative, and stunning visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5 makes this one of the most ambitious MMO projects we've seen in a very long time. The road ahead isn't going to be easy. Transparent monetization, a truly open-world experience, and meaningful long-term content are non-negotiable if Chrono Odyssey wants to succeed. But if MPIXEL delivers even a fraction of what they're promising, this game could genuinely usher in a new era for the MMORPG genre. So, what's your take? Is Chrono Odyssey worth the hype, or are we headed for disappointment? Drop your thoughts, feedback, and even advice on the game and this video in the comments. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more straight-up, no-fluff content. See you in the next one. Until then, stay sharp and stay curious.